So as you can see, I've got some plants that are pretty close together that I need to thin out. And for sweet corn, ideally, they say it's 12 to 16 inches in between plants. So I do have some corn plants that are much closer than that. So I've got a bucket that I put a little bit of water down in the bottom. And I'm planning on just pulling these out. It's after irrigation this morning, so I'm hoping that the plants pull out somewhat intact, not disturbing the root bundle too much, and put them right in the water. And then I'm going to try transplanting and filling some of those gaps. So some of the bigger plants, I'm probably a little bit late on thinning them out, but they're a little bit too tall. I think they want them to be like about 4 to 6 inches tall, and I think I'm at 8 to 10. Some of them are even probably a good foot tall at this point. And the concern with that is that the roots can grow together, and when we pull this guy, it could damage the roots of the one on the left. So some of those ones that I know that the roots are grown together, I'm just going to cut them off with the pruners and feed the clippings to the chickens, because I know they like that. So let's give it a shot, see how it goes. I'm not sure if I want to keep the root ball intact in the dirt or try to pull it bare root and put that in the water. I'm going to do a little bit of both and see what happens. That kind of came out nicely, so I think I'm going to keep him as a nice root bundle and transplant. Okay, so I went down one row and I've got a bucket full of the thinnings. I was able to pull most of them up. They came out nicely with the ground being soft from irrigating this morning. I'm just going to try transplanting. Now digging down in here, I got to remember that we put the irrigation tape down in there, so we don't want to damage that with the trowel. So I want to make sure, just like with your planting any kind of tree, that the hole is much bigger than the root ball so that the roots can splay out nicely and not get damaged when you transplant. So I'm just going to come in here, grab one, put him down nicely, and gently fill in with the soil. Now they're going to be a little bit lower because I dug the hole deeper, but that's actually a good thing for stability for the plant, because we'll go back here in another week or so and we're going to lay by the corn, and that's basically hilling the both sides of the row and bringing the soil up to the base of the corn plant, which provides a little bit more stability. So I didn't thin any of the sunflowers today, and that was on purpose. From what I understand, learning about sunflowers, and in particular the pro cuts, is that the closer the plants are together, the smaller the flower is going to be, which is somewhat ideal when you want to grow them to cut and put in a vase on your kitchen table. So, all right, so the corn's all thinned, and I was able to transplant some of the thinnings into the gaps that I had in between some of the plants, and I'm sure those will wilt a little bit over a day or two, but hopefully they'll adjust nicely. I kicked on the irrigation system to give them a little bit of a drink and get them established. One thing I did notice going from this end of the rows up to that end of the rows is the ground is a lot more moist on the south end than it is up here on the north end. And the corn is reflecting that with not being as tall at this point. So the pressure reducer we put on this irrigation system was 10 psi, which is the absolute minimum that you can run on the irrigation drip tape. And I think the maximum was 20. So I think what I'm going to do is order a 15 or a 20 and see if that increase in pressure gets a little bit more water on this uphill side to help irrigate a little bit better, and hopefully that'll even out the growth of the rows, because all 4 rows down there are a little bit taller than they are up on this end. So I'll try that with stand number 2, which will be coming over here in the next week or two, and we'll see if that addresses the problem. But that's it for today on corn maintenance. We did some thinning, we did some transplanting, and we hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.